All right, welcome to Talking Investing. The week is over. Hello, Martin, Darren, Jeff, Steve, Brent, and everybody else. Welcome to the stream. The last hour of the day was most confusing, but this was a good week. So there's so much happened today and this week. I want to go through a whole bunch of stuff. George is supposed to join us. He's late at the moment. So he's in Georgia right now, so he drives around a lot. So as soon as he gets to where he's going, he's supposed to jump in on the stream with us. So we'll have to wait for him. We'll just have to live without him for a while. Hello, Alex. Adam. Ed. Hello, how are you? A lot of members here. Much appreciated. Hello, Sour Melon Gaming. Gorilla. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, RT. Thank you. Yeah, things went our way this week. Things went our way so far in January, but it's not over yet. It's not over till it's over. And I just put out a video that you guys can watch. Don't leave the stream. You can watch it later. And I'm going to talk about a bunch of that because this is the... I'm going to draw, which I can't do. But this is the battle right here. Like, this is what's going on. And we have to defeat this green line. So I'll talk more about that later for sure. But that's what's going on. You know, we were right here when I made my video that you'll see. And you know, I'm hoping we get a breakout above this line. We kind of got a fake out. And then, bam, right in the other direction. How many times... I'm getting rid of this circle. I can't take it. Oh, wait. Hold. We have a visitor.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'll go with you. Okay, honey?
Where?
George! You're
I made
live.
it.
You're live and on
Sorry.
stream.
I made it.
George is on location. Good job.
Can't drink my lemonade now. He's using it as a phone rest.
Yeah. My wife's already caught this thing.
Hey.
Wow, it's been one of those days already.
Yeah, I didn't get much of a chance to catch up with you today. George is on the road. He's mobile. He's with the family. So, are you driving as we speak?
Yeah.
Oh, you would never be driving while zooming. That's not how that works.
That's
got
right.
done,
You're parked in the
we had to
parking
go-
lot.
What was it? Did we get quartz or granite?
I don't know.
Wait.
We got something.
I think that might have been quartz.
Might have been quartz.
Does
Oh,
anybody
boy.
know the difference between quartz and granite, by the way?
Does
Different
anybody
types of
know?
stones.
Does anybody know the difference between quartz
It's
and
the
granite?
chemical composition of the
Yeah.
stone.
I know one
there's plenty
difference.
of
The
food
price.
What's more money?
You might be breaking in and out. I think I lost the last thing you said. You might be
Yeah.
breaking in a little bit in and out. Ah, Darren said we're gonna
Which costs more?
Well, it depends. If you get a high-end quartz, they're usually more than granite, unless you get like an exotic granite,
Oh,
you know,
great.
and then it can run up pretty high as well.
Yeah.
And you know, granite, level 1 granite is now, it used to be Formica countertops all over the place, but a level 1 granite, for those, I'm sure nobody cares, but for those of you who care, if you're going to get a Formica top, you might as well get a level 1 granite. That's not financial advice. That's just life advice right there. So, that's, Hello, Darren. Hello, Nathan. We're going to pressure George into buying more CleanSpark. Yeah, we had a couple people. We have a couple of predictions. I'm just going to go back and take a look at them. We had 2 predictions, George. Before the stream started, we had the prediction. I'm going to interrupt myself. If everybody could please smash the like button, it makes a huge difference while we're live, just as far as getting more people on the live stream. So I always tell everybody you can unlike it later if you don't like it sitting in your history or whatever. But if you smash the like button while we're on the stream, it's a big, big, big help. Okay, enough said. Two requests for George. Or no, two predictions. Eastern Digital said, before this even starts, I want to predict George will mention a, quote, thing he can't talk about. So, there's number one. Number two, Brent said, my prediction is that George has to take a call to pacify a customer and then mentions XRP.
Welcome to my world, everyone.
This is a normal day for me.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, I'd be really happy to be a full-time streamer, but guess what? YouTube takes all the money.
Yeah, you got that right.
I mean, it just, you know what I mean? I like to be, you know, I got a different zip code. I can't live in the zip code of YouTube's. Why do you think like third world people like do so much better streaming?
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
They can live on what they make.
Yeah, they can live on what they make. Where's Bitcoin right now? Did you already give me props and say I called the top or no?
Well, you still have basically called the top. George called 23.5, and if we look at this,
Texas?
This candle wick, which was just an hour ago, we got to 23,511. So at the moment, George, your call still holds.
That's a week later, guys. Just so you know, remember, who was I talking to? We were talking. I forgot. I said, just so you know, I don't think it has the legs to get to 25 right now, but I see 23.5 real easy.
That was on
The
either.
problem is
That was
next week-
either 1 week or 2 weeks ago on the live stream.
And my problem I see right now is there's just a lot of stuff that's coming out next week.
Well, there's a lot of stuff coming out next week. The big number comes out next week. It seems like nobody cares about any of the other. I mean, GDP came out this week, and you couldn't. Nobody could have cared any less. And I mean, that used to be the big number, and now it's nothing. But I will go through. There were some good numbers that came out this week, in my opinion. Better than expected numbers that don't paint a picture of, you know, the apocalyptic views that are prevalent right now in the market.
That I have.
Well, for Bitcoin, you feel like we're going to get beat down one more time, big time. But
No. But I think when you say that's the reason I'm so big on Bitcoin is because of the rest of the market. I still believe that we're getting ready to get crushed like a little bug.
That's great.
Big price movements.
Organic Autos Garden. Tom, thanks for all your great info and all your videos. I can tell a lot of hard work is put in your videos. One of the few on YouTube that does so, and I enjoy watching. Thank you, Organic Auto Garden. Yes, I spend all day, every day doing
thanks,
this.
Ma.
Yeah, I'll pay you later. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks, Ma. Really appreciate that. That college degree didn't go to waste. You know, like other people really pay to have people like say things about them on the stream. And Tom, I will
probably.
say thank you for the advice that I've gotten.
You're most welcome.
The headaches.
The non-financial advice.
Where is CleanSpark right now, by the way?
CleanSpark was up 2.46% today. It's at $2.92. So
I'm in the money.
It's moving. It's lagging. I'm going to go through that later. It is lagging and it is due. A lot of people on the stream right now on the chat are asking about CleanSpark, so we will definitely talk about CleanSpark. Darren is saying, isn't that twice now we've knocked on 23.5 door and got knocked down? And yes, Darren, that is true, but
3 times. 3 times.
We're about to. I feel like it's coming this weekend.
I'll be 10 minutes. Baked potato and salad.
Adam's laughing at you that you're with your wife. And then
Dude, this I'm real life, brother.
Crypto Golfer wants to know, is George using 1996 technology on his stream?
Absolutely.
What are you on? You're on your phone, but you're at a
Right.
you're at a strange
I don't know
angle.
What the hell I'm doing.
Why don't you have somebody like point the phone at you?
Dude, what am I gonna do? Hang on, I'm gonna be parked here in a second. As soon as I'm parked, then I can do it.
Darren says, buy more CleanSpark, George.
Should I?
Well, we got a lot of people mentioning CleanSpark on the chat, and a lot of people telling you to buy more. It is still, if I was to average in, which I am, it is still the one that I would buy right now.
Oh, I wish I could show you my shirt.
Brent said Cypher is now half of his position. Do you mean half of your position, like half of your portfolio, or do you mean that you've gotten your Cypher position halfway to where you want it to be? Cypher has gone off, so that's one of the things I want to show you guys as well. Cypher had a big day today, a big week this week. Let's see. Bitfarms should get its NASDAQ compliance by Wednesday if it continues above $1. That's Miner Doc. Thank you, Miner Doc. That's true. It would have been sooner, but they had that one day they popped under, so you know, you would think they're comfortably over $1 right now. In fact, I feel like they're due. They pushed up to like $1.32, I think, on one of the earlier runs within the last 2 weeks, and then pulled right back. So to me, I feel like they're due to run. You know, I think they're going to make a run at $1.50. That's my personal price target. That's my personal opinion. All right, one more time, I'm going to ask you if everybody could smash the like button so we can get some more people on the stream with us. Much appreciated. And thanks, everybody that's here right now. You guys are appreciated. Let's see.
You know what's funny?
What?
I might be a kitchen remodeler. So, like, I'm filling out this thing right now, and I'm sorry. But I'm filling out this because I saw something I wanted in a kitchen. I had to pick out my granite, you know, or quartz or whatever we picked out. And it says, do you do, so the numbers of how many kitchens remodeling do you do a year? 0 to 1, I mean, 1 to 0 to 1. 1 to 20, 20 to 50, or 50 plus. I mean, we do more than 50 every single year. And it's like, that's not even our primary business.
That's true. So are they going to give you a discount for checking that box, or are they just want to know?
No, but what was really cool was the owner's from Greece, and I'm like, I didn't even ask him to hook me up. I'm like, dude, I don't care what you charge me. I'm like, whatever, dude. You got to make your money. Go ahead. I don't care.
No, you need a discount.
You know? Whatever. Food habit.
That's right. Can you do any better when you get that price? Especially, I know they got room in that price. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, the slabs were, here's one. Most people don't know this. The slabs are only like $2,000.
Hello, Patient Bill. Yeah,
Patient Bill.
The expensive slabs are. You picked something nice at $2,000.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
People don't realize that they're not that much money.
We won't tell them what, you know, we do, because we also do this on the wholesale end.
I'm going to need 2 slabs. That's the problem.
You should get Roy to come up there.
No. He's not beating my amigos. It's going to be around, I don't know, $6,000 probably.
Sour Melon Gaming said, we're no longer bouncing along the bottom. I agree. I think we've made a move up. We'll see if it sticks. But right now, I mean, we're well into, I'll go to the 1 day and check it out. But, you know, we're still somewhere up. We're up about 50% in this, what we're still calling a relief rally right now. Not ready to Not ready to switch gears and call this a bull market because you don't know what's going to happen. But at the moment, we're in a massive... This is the biggest relief rally since Bitcoin ran up to... Well, rally of any kind since October of 2021 when Bitcoin was on its way up to its all-time high. So this is a gigantic rally. I'm a believer. George thinks we're going to get whacked one more time.
And so the next time could be next week, actually. So what do you think happens with the interest rate? 25 or 50?
Well, I think...
does it matter?
Yeah, it matters. It's 25 basis points is priced in right now in a way that I've never seen before. So if that thing comes in 50, you can expect a short-term tank in the market. So
well, I hope so then.
Well, everybody's convinced it's 25 basis points, but I'm just telling you right now, if that comes in at 50, you're going to see, I mean, within minutes, you're going to get red candles like we can't imagine.
So, but if it comes in at 25, is it going to go up?
It depends on what no, because it's already complete. I've never seen anything priced in as much as this is priced in. So it's not going to get a bounce on 25. It may, it should be, because here's the thing. Then he's going to come out afterwards and say a bunch of horrible things about how he's going to keep raising rates forever and blah, blah, blah. Like he's got to say, I'm not criticizing him for that. That's just, that's what he's got to say. But it's not, the market doesn't believe that. The market believes that he's going to be tapering off. They're going to stop raising rates sometime by the middle of the year, and they're going to start lowering rates sometime in the second half of the year. Austin says, hi, hello, Austin. Welcome to the live stream. To the stream.
So question, what about the monetary aspect? Do they talk about that too? Whether they're going to keep monetizing easing or not?
That will be in the notes. He may mention that, but I mean, there's no quantitative easing that's going on right now, and that's not likely to. They're doing the opposite right now, and I'm guessing he's going to absolutely. He has been sticking to his talking points. Here's the thing, in my opinion, the Fed missed this way back when they said, inflation's transitory, don't worry about it. So they missed this. So they are not going to miss it again. So that's why he keeps saying the same thing. Like, I'd rather err on the side of caution and raise rates too much because they feel that's a problem they can fix. But if they don't raise them enough...
What do you think the percentage is that we could go 0.50 basis?
It's priced... The market has priced in a 99% chance that it's going to be 0.25. So that's why I'm saying if it's 0.5, right, it's going to be red. I think there is a chance that could happen. It's slim. Originally, that was going to be what was going to happen, but I think he'd rather do 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. That gives him a little bit more still in the chamber, if you will, to use at the next couple of meetings. And
in what period of time do they look at for this, Tom? Are they looking at December or January?
The Fed?
Yeah.
See, they look at the data in its entirety and a lot of other data points, and they won't. I mean, he's been crystal clear. If we get one good number, they're not going to say hooray and then start lowering rates. He wants to see a consistent move in the right direction, and they want to get near. We're still nowhere near their target rate of 2% inflation, right? We came in, the CPI was 6.5 last time, so that's way down off of its highs. We're trending in the right direction. That's a data point that I think is going well, but it's not where they want it to be, and they can't.
Have you seen oil?
Let's take a look at oil.
Oil's been jamming.
$79.50 right now. So it's hanging out. I think here at the pump in the U.S., we're feeling some oil pain. And Bitcoin, just in case anybody's watching, I watch the 15-minute chart usually. So we had this. This was 1 hour before the market closed. This 15-minute candle ran way up, and it looked like we were off to the races. But, of course, immediate reversal. So from high to low, this is 4 candles, so that's 1 hour. So that was 2% move in 1 hour. We hit a top and then just dropped. And then it seemed like we were rebuilding, and now we're having another red candle. But that's really close up. If we go to the 4 hour, I mean, this is a lot of 4 hour candles in a row that are just sitting right here in the exact same spot. So in my opinion, we're going very sideways. Plus or minus 23,000 seems to be holding very strong. Let's see. Brent said the Fed language changed and seems to indicate they will wait a long time before easing again. So yes, but yes, Brent, thank you for that comment. That was several speeches ago. At the time that he said this, he almost did a little good news, bad news. I'm not going to go as fast as I was going to go, but it's going to take a lot longer. So, you know, that's why the market is pricing in lower rate hikes. But you're right. I mean, he's going to, the Fed's going to say they're not lowering interest rates in 2023. So that remains to be seen, but he has no choice. It's January of 2023 right now. They have no choice but to stick to that talking point. If they don't, they undermine everything that they've done up until this point. So just from a talking point standpoint, they have to stick to that. So you can expect 100% chance that they're going to stick to the same talking points.
I have a question, Tom. How many more rate moves can they make?
Well, conventional wisdom is there's a potential of 3 more 25 basis point moves. I mean, they can make as many as they want. I think you start to run into a problem if they do more than 75 basis points over the next, 3, 4, 5 months. You're going to start to run into other problems in the economy because the interest rate is just going to be too high. It's not sustainable. Other things become unsustainable. Housing, cars, right? Because, if you want to buy a car, you got to go get a loan. At some point, the interest rate starts to break that equation if it gets too high. So they've got some room and they have some time, but I think I'm in agreement with what I think the majority is that, they're gonna do this 1 or 2 or 3 more times. I think they're gonna do 3 more 25 basis point moves. The market is leaning towards 2 more 25 basis point moves. So we'll have to see.
If they do 3 25 basis point moves, what will be their next course of action if they can't bring it down because inflation's still kicking away?
If that doesn't get the job done, then they're going to start to have a problem. And they're going to start to have to talk about going beyond that, which is, I think at that point, they'll go sideways for a while and keep tough talk without raising rates again. And then at some point, if they have to raise rates past that, it's going to be, my video this morning was about, a soft landing, a hard landing, the recession starting, ending, all that stuff. If what you're talking about happens, we are in for a very hard landing, in my opinion.
Well, I don't see that slowing down things yet. You know what I mean?
Well, let's take a look at.
I almost feel like they want it to be a train wreck, personally.
Oh, do I not have the inflation one
Does
up?
the debt ceiling limit have anything to do with what the Fed's going to do?
I mean, it's not going to affect what the Fed's going to do. It's going to affect the economy. It's going to affect the stock market ultimately. But the Fed, I mean, they're going to do their thing. They will not be swayed in the short term.
Right.
All right, we got some new people. If everybody could please smash the like button, it helps a lot. It helps get the number of viewers on this live stream so we can have a bigger, more successful stream. Much appreciated. So we got 48 likes. I did get 100 likes for the first time ever on a live stream last time. So let's see if we can beat last time.
Are you DJ Tom? Hey, DJ Tom, how you doing? Sorry. You need to get your DJ voice going.
I got no, this is it. This is me.
This is it. Hey, everybody, smash that like button. So, okay. Miners. Bitcoin miners. How are we doing with them overall right now this week?
This week was a little bit sideways, but I'm going to go to a chart where I charted out what my top 8. So I did a video picking my top 8. Really, it's my top 4 and then my next 4. That's how I classify it. So I'm going to show you what they've done month to date. I have that chart ready to take a look at. This week was a little bit sideways, but there's a few of these that really took off. I will tell you. So let's look at some of them that went crazy. The first thing I want to look at that is, well, you know what? We can look at this later. I want to talk about Lucid today. Did anybody happen to notice Lucid going insane today? They halted trading on Lucid at least 4 times today. At least. Really? At one point, it was up 98% on the day.
One day.
So I think it closed up. Let's see if I have that. So it closed up 43%. So it did pull back, but at one point it was up 98% on the day. And I mean, they just it would jump 10% in 10 seconds and they'd have to halt trading again. It was unbelievable.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know why it did that. I know there's a big short position out there on that. And, you know, maybe today was the day. This doesn't make any sense. This was not on news. And the volume was 204 million versus 27 million average volume, and they halted trading 4 times. So who knows what the volume would have been. So anyway, I'm totally sidetracked. That's not what we went to do, but I happen to have Lucid open on here.
But no, that's okay. We're talking investing, Tom.
Yeah, this is talking investing. We got
talking Bitcoin miners.
That's right. Exactly. Anybody drop a comment in the chat if any of you guys caught any of this Lucid on the way up or down. I spent about 10 minutes looking at options, and then I realized it was futile. And, you know, by the time you're in the middle of these things, it's too late. So Alex is saying, my plan is to put my stop loss to protect my profits, my positions, and tighten in the event that you're right, Tom. So, yeah, I mean, this is a great time to, that way you don't have to sell, you don't have to take gains, but you can put in stop losses and protect the gains you got right now. So if it keeps running, you get the run. If it doesn't, you know, you get out and still keep whatever percentage of your gains that you're willing to. Miner Doc said, aren't MicroStrategy and El Salvador both due to buy 500 million of Bitcoin each? I don't know the answer to that, so maybe that may be true. We'll double check that. And anybody let us know on the chat if you can verify that. But I do know, I mean, you know, MicroStrategy is going to keep buying. I mean, they don't stop. They're going to keep buying. And there's going to be a change, there is a change in the accounting rules on how this stuff is accounted for, and I believe that's going to allow MicroStrategy to buy a lot more Bitcoin going forward. I'm going to do a separate video on that. It's a long overdue change. The accounting rules are Bitcoin and crypto is still so new. The accounting world is trying to figure out how to deal with it, but they made a substantial change in how to account for it, and it's going to make a big difference. And it makes a lot more sense, in my opinion. DEFCON said increasing the debt ceiling will increase inflation. No. So, I mean, that's in theory, increasing the debt ceiling raises inflation. Quantitative easing, printing money raises inflation. I mean, yeah, these are the things they're trying not to do right now. But, I mean, are they really going to not increase the debt ceiling? Is there any actual chance?
You can see a double... You can see a double whammy on the board, Tom.
A double whammy. What's the first whammy?
No whammies. No whammies.
No whammies. Big bucks. Big bucks.
Big bucks. But no, what it is that they're keeping going on increasing the interest rate. And I just can see a double whammy coming, because in one hand you're doing something to control the inflation, and another hand you're doing something that's increasing inflation,
which is going to be raising the debt ceiling. You're saying,
right? And you know, and I know, and everybody on this stream probably knows that even if they don't increase the debt limit at this point in time, you know, the Treasury's just printing money.
One way or the other, they're going to pay the bills. So there's no doubt. And ultimately, they always end up raising the debt ceiling. So maybe this will be a brand new first time for everything. But
you can't.
Yeah,
because everybody knows you can't. You just can't. It's like a shooting a gun with no bullets. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're gonna do it. There's no bullets. We just got demonetized because I'm talking about guns.
Here
I go again.
Squirt guns.
Squirt guns.
Hold on. Let me get to. This is the one I wanted to get to. See, and everything. Whammy. Thank you, Friday afternoon. This is the last 15-minute candle on Cypher for Friday afternoon. They always do this to us. I mean, it was having what was otherwise a very good day, and it still did end up. It was up 16%, even with this whammy. So
the day traders really like Bitcoin miners.
Right now, people are starting to get interested again. Yeah. If everybody's noticed, all of a sudden, there's some interest in the Bitcoin miners. The volume has been up, and the moves have been monstrous. This is the best, in my opinion, this is the best industry to trade in and be a long-term buy and hold person in the entire stock market, and it still remains one of the best kept secrets, because most people don't even know what a Bitcoin miner is. Still, a lot of people don't even know what a Bitcoin is, believe it or not. I mean, I understand that everybody watching this stream, is well versed on that, but the world is still learning. JD said there's a scuttlebutt about a new Mara deal with Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi? I'm smelling my steak, so I gotta run.
Your steak?
Yeah, I'm going into a restaurant to eat.
Oh, all right. Enjoy. Tell hello to the family.
We'll do. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks for dropping in, George.
See you guys.
All right, that was George on location, live and on location. So, but we can continue. Let's see. Argo blockchain 30. Let's see. We got some MicroStrategy earnings this week. So MicroStrategy's earnings this week, and that was from Scott. They're not going to get to use this accounting policy change is not going to help them in the earnings that they're going to release right now, which is the fourth quarter. Because if you remember, at the end of December, Bitcoin was not in a good place. However, if Bitcoin can hold this run through the end of the first quarter, then MicroStrategy, the Bitcoin miners, their Q1 2023 financial statements stand to look very good. Obviously, particularly the ones that are hodling Bitcoin, which, is a lot less than it used to be. But they're going to get to make massive adjustments at the end of the first quarter if this rally holds. If it doesn't, obviously, then... So let's see where Cypher at one point, where was its peak on the day? Where did it open? So this was the open. At one point, Cypher was up 30% today. So it did pull back, but it still ended up almost 17% up on the day. But you can see this last 15-minute candle, the Friday afternoon sell-off, people taking profits, especially Cypher's had a huge run. So if I go to the 1 day, you'll see this run's even a lot bigger than that. Like, this is... So from December 28th, so essentially the last less than 1 month, when people started to sell off, they were up that's a 321% move to the upside at the peak from today. If you go down to where we closed today, Cypher's still up 286% in less than 1 month. So that's from December 28th to January 27th. So just about 1 month. And they're not alone. A lot of Bitcoin miners have made this move. And that's why I say, like, this is still a well-kept secret, but we're starting to see a lot more activity in here because, you know, you don't see moves like this all over the place. Especially, you know, the market has had a nice January, but, you know, not too many things have done this type of stuff. And pretty much the whole Bitcoin mining industry, you know, I follow 18 of these companies, you know, and I bet you more than 10 of them are up more than 100% just in January. So, you know, that's the good news, bad news. Because the other thing I'll say is, you know, you haven't necessarily missed the run, because if you look at the flip side, most of these companies are still down 85 or 90 or 95% off of their highs from, you know, November of 2021. So, yeah, we just had a huge run. You may want to wait for a pullback. You know, that's your own personal decision. But I don't believe these things are anywhere near their longer-term price targets. This was just the tip of the iceberg, if you will. This was the beginning. This was relief rally number 1. And obviously it's been a strong one. But I do think we got a lot more to go. Let's see. Brent is saying Cypher's very thinly traded. Yeah, Cypher, let's check the shares, because it does not, you're right, there's not the volume on that like there is. So it's under 1 million per day usually. Today it was almost 1.3 million, so higher than normal volume, but this is nothing like, you know, I'm going to go to Marathon because they're the ones that trade like crazy. So if you look at Marathon and Riot are the two that have much larger market caps. So not only are they at a much higher price, you know, they're averaging almost 25 million shares a day, and today Marathon traded over 47 million shares at $8 a share. I mean, that is the dominant. Riot is in second place, and we'll just look and see what they did. So these are the two highest volume. So if you're looking for liquidity, so Riot's at $6 versus Marathon's $8. Their market caps are virtually the same. The price of their stock is different. But see, the volume here is at 11.7 million. And on Marathon, it was at 47 million. So, you know, that's 4 times as much. And Riot has very healthy volume. It's just Marathon is, they're the ones that the world knows. They're the big dog in this space for whatever reason. And, you know, they're the most heavily traded. They're the most institutions are in. But, you know, Marathon and Riot probably pretty equal institutionally. But most of the trading is right here. So, yeah. If you want your volume. Now, depends what you think of Marathon. I've seen a lot of comments on Marathon on the stream. So, you know, some people love them, some people don't. If everybody could smash the like button. Sorry I keep asking, but it does help the stream out a lot. So, I appreciate it. The algorithm spreads the stream to more people, and we get a bigger crowd when you guys hit the like button. So, much appreciated. All right, let me catch up a little. Space Oddity is saying Cypher looks like Coin. Yeah, Coin ran today. So we'll just look at that real quick. Yeah. I mean, here you go. Up 15% today. So that was an outsized move to the upside. This has had a nice run as well. So not like the Bitcoin miners, but, you know, from January 6th until today, that's up 93%. I mean, that's almost a double. So, you know, if the Bitcoin miners aside, these are gigantic moves. So Coinbase has been a good investment in 2023. Gary's saying, has Mara become a fiat miner? Appears they sold more in January than anyone. So I am going to wait. I'm going to give them a chance to give us their monthly operational update. And I want to hear right from the horse's mouth, how many Bitcoin did they sell And is this a one-off event, or what's their policy going forward? So that's the most important thing. If they want, if they one-off sold some of their stack, it's been, it's been 2 full years that they hodled, I believe, more than 99% of the Bitcoin that they mined. So I would like to, I'm waiting to hear more about where they're going with this selling Bitcoin. So I think it's premature to say that they've switched from one to the other, but it does look like they have started selling Bitcoin, whereas they have not done that in 2 years, really. Also, anybody, if you would like to become a member, and thank you to all the members that are on the stream right now, I just put a link in the chat. You can become a member on the channel, and you can ask the members. It's only $5, so, we got a great group. We get a lot of extra content, and the more people we get in this group, the better. One of the big things we do in the member group is we get member suggestions for me to do deep dive videos on, and we have had a string of outstanding member suggestions, and the more people we have, the more dialogue we're going to get. Also, I am going to set the Discord up so that the YouTube members have their own private section in the Discord to talk with me in, because our Discord is so jammed up, it's hard for me to even follow it. But I want to set up a special spot just for the YouTube members, and they're linked together, so we'll make all that happen hopefully in the next few days or weeks. So if you're interested, if you have $5 to spare, check it out. So if you don't like it, then you can cancel it. That's fine. All right. Enough about that for now. Let's see. Space Odyssey, TerraWolf doing Bitcoin mining with nuclear power, green energy credentials. Yes, they're doing direct with nuclear power. I will. So they're getting a lot of credit for that. They're getting it from the source. There's some weird stuff going on with TerraWolf. I'm having a really hard time understanding their equation. Their financial statements do not look good. Having said that, they're really basically partners and owned by the same people that are providing them the power, I believe. So there may be more to this than meets the eye. And like Space Oddity said, this is going to be nuclear energy from the source. So they'll be the first ones doing that. I will tell you, CleanSpark does a lot of their mining in Georgia. That's the main place that they mine. And most of the energy in Georgia is nuclear energy. So, they're getting their energy from the grid, but a very high percentage of that is nuclear. So it is happening, but what TerraWolf is doing is something a little bit different. They're tapping the source. So that's definitely a good look for them, for sure. Darren said, put me in a very public group that absolutely hates Mara. The instant it gets in profit, I'm selling with a smile. I mean, Marathon is one of those things. A lot of people think I don't like Marathon. A lot of people think I love Marathon. I know we have members. We have some members that love Marathon, and we have some members that it's their worst stock in the stock market. So it's one of those types of stocks where you love them or you hate them. I'm a wait-and-see person. I do have them in my top, I did my top 4 and then my next 4. So that's my top 8. I put them at number 5 because I think they have a load of potential. They haven't really realized their potential yet, so we don't know. Operationally speaking, they haven't done what they need to do yet, but they're set up to do so. So if they do, they might end up being one of the big winners or the big winner. So, the only reason I have them behind is they continue to say they're going to do X, but they don't do X. So that's my biggest. I wish they would stop putting any. I wish they would stop putting guidance into their monthly operational updates. There are a lot of companies that put guidance into their monthly operational updates, but usually most of those companies get very close to what their guidance is. You know, there's always going to be reasons why you hit or miss. But Marathon, for the most part, they have missed by anywhere from a mile to 1,000 miles with every single operational update. So that does frustrate me about them, but that's not changing my, necessarily opinion on what their potential is going forward as an investment. It does make me feel shaky about management. It's just not a good look for the company to continuously miss, what they say they're going to do. However, if it all works out and they get to their 23.3 exahash, then, at that point, nobody's going to care that it took them a year and a half instead of a year or 2 years instead of a year. So for me, I'm waiting, but I do think, they had a gigantic run, and I know they lagged today, so a lot of people said, what happened to Marathon today? So you'll see Marathon had a big down day on what was mostly a green day for all the Bitcoin miners. Marathon was down 8%. However, Marathon just went on a run. So if we look, and remember, Marathon and Riot are much, much, much bigger market caps than most of these other Bitcoin miners. So for them to go on a run like this, if you're a $10 million market cap, you can go on a 400% run and you're still only a $40 million market cap. When Marathon goes on, 100% run, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. And they peaked out a few days ago at over 200% run in 1 month. So I believe that's the only reason they're red on a day like today. We've had a lot of sideways days, and we get some red and we get some green, and they've just been so green that, yeah, they pulled back a little bit. But I wouldn't make anything of it. In my opinion, I don't think there's anything to be made out of this other than they just ran so far ahead that, on a Friday, a bunch of people took some profits. That's my opinion. Let's see. Brent said, I love the uranium/nuclear space, by the way. So, and I did a uranium video that's a little bit of a different play, but I will say, as I researched that, the United States federal government is ready, willing, and about to put a lot of money into mining uranium in the United States. So I would say that was by far my biggest takeaway. I mean, a lot of money. So I do think there's going to be a lot of U.S. uranium plays that probably have a good year. Canada has a very healthy uranium mining. They're one of the biggest in the world. And then it's, I think, Russia and not the Ukraine, another place somewhere in Eastern Europe. There's only like 3 or 4 places that mine the vast majority of all uranium. The United States had basically stopped mining uranium completely. And, the government now is going to put their money and effort into making sure that gets reversed. Because the United States is the number one, they're the number one consumer of uranium. And yet, they got to a point where they were producing none of it, which means this is supply chain type stuff. And we've been living this for the last several years. A lot of supply chain issues came to light. And we haven't really fixed very many of them yet. So I think there's a lot more of that to come. Alex said, I dislike Mara, but keep making huge swing trade profits. That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, Marathon, Riot, a lot of these Bitcoin miners, if you got a beat on them, they're absolutely fantastic swing trades. I mean, you just saw Marathon just ran up 200%. Trading, you don't even have to get involved in options. The stock went up 200%. So, and that, imagine if you're playing options on that, it gets crazy. So there's a lot of swing trading to be done if you're a practiced swing trader and you know what you're doing. But obviously, I always say be careful. People are sick of hearing me say it, but you got to be careful in Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. This is some of the most volatile stuff that there is. So I know a lot of you guys are experienced and you know what you're doing, but It's always good to be careful. Martin said you will not find a better amount of information for the price. It's $5 a month. Oh, thank you, Martin. That's referring to the membership. So, yeah, it's $5 a month. You know, that's what I recommend. If you don't, you know, do whatever you want. But I recommend you pay $5. If you don't like the content that's in there, then just cancel it. And understand you've supported the channel. So I appreciate the $5. For those who choose to do that, I appreciate, you know, even $5 I appreciate. It's for me, it's just, I don't even want to get sidetracked, but I mean, I lose money on this channel. So I don't, you know, for those of you that think like, well, you know, I do this all day and I make money. I make money on my trading, but you know, last year wasn't the greatest year, but I'm not here to even talk about that. This year has been spectacular, and we will talk about the 10K challenge because I've been getting some questions on that. This January has been absolutely spectacular, but just as far as the channel goes, I really want to spend my time here. I enjoy doing this. I appreciate all the members that I have and all the subscribers that I have, but it's hard. It does cost me more money to do this, you know, than I bring in. So anything helps. Let's see. Marathon has a high short interest, said Alex. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Adam G said in all caps, Bitfarm is the only honest miner. So I don't know if you can elaborate on that, Adam. I mean, I like Bitfarms. That's one of my big positions. So I like what they're doing, but I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that comment. Gorilla saying, I don't understand why suddenly Mara is doing business with Abu Dhabi. Fred Thiel always said Bitfarms was high risk for being in South America. Fred is wishy-washy. So maybe we can get Fred on the channel. That would really be nice if we could have a direct conversation with Fred. I would be glad to give him a chance to answer these kinds of questions. I don't, you know what I mean? There's legit questions to be asked. And, you know, if anybody has the answers, it's Fred. Let's see. Kazakhstan. Thank you, Brent. That is the other place that mines a lot of uranium. So, you know, those few places make up the vast majority of the world's uranium supply. So, and the United States has a massive amount of supply, but they decreased their output by over 99%. You know, they got to almost zero. So, you know, I think the money the government's going to put into those uranium, into the U.S. uranium miners, is going to help them get back online. And, you know, obviously for the United States to trade with Canada, Canada's a big uranium miner as well. So that's a good, healthy relationship. But, you know, then you've got Russia and Kazakhstan, which, you know, our relationship is nothing with them like it is with Canada. So, you know, it would be nice to reduce some of that reliance and switch over to, you know, some of our own, since we have it here anyway. So QWERTY said, thanks for your hard work, Tom. You are welcome. I'm glad to do it. DEFCON said, get Fred Thiel on the channel. So I got to reach out to Fred. I've been talking about this for 2.5 months, and I really have been chasing. I do spend a lot of time on this channel. It's taking up all my time, and I try to. One of the things I'm still doing, and at some point maybe I can't do it, I read every single comment on YouTube. So if I do a video, I read every single comment. I used to respond to every single comment. Now I don't have time for that, but I do like to at least read every single comment. But between that and, you know, just the sum total of all of this is more than I realized. You know, I was not, you know, nobody was a YouTuber. So I'm doing YouTube right now, and that's where I spend the vast majority of my time, but it is taking up. Whoa, we just got George Good. I do apologize if I just butchered your name. That is a $100 chat. Much appreciated. So special thanks to George. George, you got any questions you want me to answer? You got anything you're thinking about? I appreciate that. It makes a big difference. I know everybody had a rough year last year, so they're struggling, but, anything, I appreciate that in the chat. That is absolutely outstanding. All right, so there's the music that comes on when somebody gives. So, Grand Slam home run, gold star for George. Thank you, much appreciated. And that is not our George. That's a George that joins. I've seen you on the channel before, I believe. So thank you for joining us, and thank you very much for that super chat. I don't know what they call it. Seriously, said Tom, are you still holding Arrow? Yes, I am still holding Arrow. I'm still holding Arrow. Personally, I'm still holding Arrow in the 10K challenge, which I know I haven't talked about in a long time. I am going to put a video out on that. It was an absolute disaster in the year 2022, so that was awful. However, in January of 2023 so far, it's been unbelievable. And Arrow is one of the things that has participated in that. Arrow has had a really, really nice run, and I don't think they're done running. I think they just got started. So I am keeping my Arrow. Maybe I'll regret it. Maybe this was just a pump and dump, but they're still so underpriced in my opinion. Now, they're still all potential and not much reality yet. So I understand they need to get where they're going, but they have such a gigantic cash runway. It's unbelievable. So, I'm holding my Arrow. I'm not adding to it at this price. At this point today, I just today got back to over break even on my Arrow investment. So, and it just took, I'll show you, it's had a big run up in order for me to just get back to where I averaged in at. So from the absolute low on December 27th until the close today, that's 113 or 114%. So that's double in the last month, and that got me back into the green at long last. And it also, looks like it passed a potential important line here. So we'll see. But you can see on this one that, this is still like, just going back to, this is 1 year ago. This was $1.73. So there's a lot more room to the upside, and that's nothing. If I go to the 1 week, this was, you can see there's stops all the way along the way. Back to March of 2021, this was an $8 stock. This was an $11 stock 2 years ago. So I'm not even looking at these numbers. I'm not anticipating it getting back to these numbers, but at 75 cents, $2 or $3 is a pretty reasonable price target, in my opinion, for a buy and hold. So if that pulls another, that could be a triple or a quadruple if I hold on to that for 2 or 3 years. So that's how I'm looking at that. Seth, welcome. Hello, Seth. Welcome to the stream. Scott said I'm in his will. Thank you, Scott, but I hope you live a long life from here. George said, no, don't have any questions, just like to listen and learn from you. Well, thank you very much, George. That is very much appreciated. You should be an automatic honorary member. I'll see if I can find a way to make that happen. Let's see. Manuel said, hey, Tom, I keep buying Bitfarms. Plan to buy until price reaches my average. So, yeah, so let me go to I'm going to go to my list of my top 8 that I put out in December coming into 2023. These are the 8 that I had the highest level of confidence in, and it's really 2 groups of 4. One that I have very high conviction in, one group of 4, and then one that I think good things are going to happen for, but, I have less conviction because there's more question marks and unknowns. Just before I get to that, I'll read Alex said, Arrow has many competitors. I know they are cash flush. I still believe they will be bought out. So I think that's probably a very good possibility. But what I don't think is they're going to be bought out at 75 cents. I see them being bought out at $3 or $4. They don't have to. A lot of these other, unlike the Bitcoin miners, all these Bitcoin miners have held in there. You'll notice a lot of them have had to restructure. Some of them have had to give some of their machines back. But only Core Scientific has filed Chapter 11, and it does look like they're going to come out of that healthy. They still continue to be the biggest miner by a mile. The small cap EV companies are not the same. They are dropping like flies. Volta, which is right next to Arrow on my list, I held that stock maybe 6 months ago. I did a video and said I don't like it anymore. The risk profile has changed. I'm afraid of it, and it has tanked since then. And, you know, they just sold themselves. I think it's trading at 85.5 cents. I thought the number was 86 cents, so there's not much arbitrage there if it's 86 cents that they sold themselves at. But they sold on pennies on the dollar. Romeo, which is another stock I talked about, the small cap EV stock, they had to sell at pennies on the dollar. But those guys were all out of cash. They were at the end of the road. So I do think that Arrow is a very good candidate to be bought up, but they're not going to have to do so in a desperate move at some pennies on the dollar price. I would think they should get paid some reasonable price if they're going to sell. Some price that is very good from looking here at, 75 cents. So we'll see. Awakened Soul said Arrow will never be mainstream. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not. I mean, they're not roadworthy vehicles. They have a very specific purpose. It's a niche thing, so it's not. They're not a competitor for Tesla or Lucid or Neo or any of those other companies or Nikola and Fisker. I'm actually interested in, but I don't even want to get into that one yet. But it's not one of those types of companies. They do a very specific thing. Awakened Soul said Arrow will do an offering or a stock split guaranteed. I would not guarantee that if I were you, Awakened Soul. We have just seen. So first of all, we just saw them go up 100%. They're at 75 cents. They got to get back over $1. But I will tell you, I'm going to go to an example that all of you are probably familiar with. Let me go to the 1 day. I mean, that's your opinion, Awakened Soul, and you might be right. I don't know. I can't say that you're right or wrong, but I will say if you look at, this is a classic example right here. Argo Blockchain, by the time they got their letter in the mail from the NASDAQ that they were out of compliance, and they were trading at 36 cents. This was just 5 weeks ago. So you got to get back over $1. It seemed pretty hopeless when they got, when they had to release that, we've gotten informed, we're out of compliance, we need to get back over $1, and they were trading down at 36 cents. I would say 99.9% of people thought, oh boy, reverse stock split's probably the best case scenario here, maybe worse. Well, within days, they were back over $1, and they actually at one point, I believe, got over $2. Yeah, they got up to $2.77, so that is just short of a 500% move to the upside in a little over 1 month, about 5 weeks. Now, there was a catalyst for that, so it's not like that was a random run. They did have to sell off one of their major assets in order to do so, but in doing that, they became a company that was, doomed to run out of cash imminently to a company that had a business model that maybe works going forward. So Arrow is the same situation in my mind. If they could just show some amount of sales, then I think they'll be okay. Also, I do think, you guys saw what Tesla did today. We saw what Tesla did today. Tesla was up 11% again. I'm going to go to Tesla because look at this run on Tesla, right? They got beat up very badly. So I understand their running from a low. They got down to almost $100, but here's another one. And Tesla, they're one of the 10 largest market caps in the world. So when they have a run like this is just January of this year. They're up 74%. So obviously they are the gold standard in EV, and that's not because I'm a Tesla fan. I don't own any Tesla stock. I'm pretty neutral about their stock price. It's hard for me to understand how they trade, so I just stay away from them. But I do think it's a good company. Anyway, they're on a huge run. We saw Lucid Motors today ended the day up 43%, and they were up 98% at one point during the day. So these small cap stocks, Arrow's only like a $28 million market cap. So they could double and go to $1.50 and still have, they would still be a smaller market cap than they have cash in the bank, and they have no debt. So that's why I feel like Arrow is a little bit of a safety type of a bet. Nothing's a guarantee, but it's more like, it's like a Nano Dimension type of a thing where, and I haven't talked about them in a long while, but Nano Dimension is the same way. They've got over $1 billion in the bank, and they're like a $600 million market cap stock. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And they have no debt and a very small cash burn. So, sometimes it does make sense. If you've got $300 million in the bank, but your annual cash burn is $300 million, then you got a big problem. Especially if your stock is beaten up to the point where, now you're a small market cap, so raising through equity is out of the question. So there are scenarios where that's a problem, but, Arrow is not one of those scenarios. Nano Dimension is not one of those scenarios, in my opinion. So that's my Arrow rant. Miner Doc said Helion has made a nice move. Maybe add that to your EV plays. I have them on my watch list. I've been watching them all along. There was 2 years ago, there was a YouTuber. I'm not going to name him by name. I enjoy his channel. I really hardly get to watch anybody's channel anymore. I'm so busy doing mine. But this particular person, they picked at the beginning of the year 2021, they picked Helion to be their #1 stock of the year. So, unfortunately, Helion has gone in the other direction big time. But I'll check back in on that. I mean, are they actually doing what they said they were going to do? Because, the other player in that game, and it wasn't apples for apples, but that was XL, and they also had to, sell. So I'll be interested to see that. Also, Darren is saying Fisker and Nikola had huge runs today, thanks to Lucid. So yeah, I think Fisker has a bright future, and they're underpriced versus their peers, in my opinion. Now they just ran up 15% today, so I'm not chasing them in there. And there's so many things that are a bargain and are on a discount that it's hard. It's hard. I am trying to still make sure to keep money on the sidelines so that as opportunities present themselves, we just haven't run through. It's always good to have some powder on the sidelines. Obviously, that's not my rule. That's just kind of the rule. Nathan Abbott is asking, Go EV? What's going on with Go EV? So they're at a $491 million market cap. They had a big run today. They should be on my... Let me go back to my list. Where is it? Oh, that was this. They should be on my... Are they not on my list? Oh, EV Go is on my list. That's a totally separate company. That's a... what do you call it? Electric charging station company. But Go EV... They're like... Well... They're not at all exactly like Arrow, but they're similar to an Arrow type of a situation. So it's a unique car, and it looks like they're running. So I don't know. Are they... I haven't done a deep dive on them in quite some time, and I should add them back. I don't know why they're not on that list of EV stocks. How bad did this get? I remember this getting rough for them. Let's take a quick look. Oh, so they're still, I mean, they're still down very low. Man, these are volatile stocks. So you can see, just, you know, to Alex's point earlier, who said he's made a lot of money trading some of these things. Here's Go EV. This was in July of 2022. That's 190% run up. So it came all the way back down, and it's now even lower than where it was. But, you know, is it going to have another one of these? Maybe. I do think the EV sector is going to potentially be, you know, it's not going to be what the Bitcoin miners are. I don't think anything can challenge the Bitcoin miners just as far as making 300, 400, 500, 600% moves. Some of the Bitcoin miners have done that in 1 month. So that's tough to compete with. But there are a lot of these small cap EV stocks that are very small market cap that could have big, big runs if they succeed. Now, on the other hand, a bunch of them may go out of business. So, you know, you never know. Let's see. Alex said, Fisher founder worked with Elon to develop Tesla. He knows how to make this EV car outperform Tesla. So, yeah, I mean, that's a big factor. One of the things that Tesla has done that almost nobody else has done, they actually make a profit on their car. Almost every single one of these companies. So if you go down the list, Lucid, Neo, Xpeng, Li, Rivian, etc. Right now, it costs more to make their car than they sell it for, almost across the board in the entire EV space. Now, obviously, Tesla had a multiple-year head start on all of this, so they're a much more mature company. But they make money. They make a nice gross profit on their cars, nicer than, you know, most of the car industry does, the traditional car industry. So, you know, if Fisher can follow along those lines, if they have the formula to, you know, make money on their car, that's what needs to happen. I am very concerned. Like even Lucid, I think their car is fantastic. But they got to make money on it. I mean, Rivian and Lucid to me are stocks that I worry about a lot. So I've stayed clear of them. If Lucid keeps running like this, I might buy some put options. I don't like to short anything, especially stocks like this that can run like wild beyond, you know, anything that's reasonable. But I wouldn't mind buying some puts on Lucid just because I think, you know, today's run was outrageous, and they're a company that loses money big time. I mean, Rivian and Lucid lose now. Rivian loses even multiples more money a year than Lucid does. So to me, those two are scary. Darren says, at Alex, Fisker worked for Tesla, Ford, and BMW. Nice. So that's an awful lot of experience. Nathan Abbott said, my brother-in-law sunk all of his GameStop money into them, and he has been pretty sad. Into which one? Into Go EV? Into Fisker? Let us know, Nathan. I know a lot of these have, listen, from November of 2020, really, actually, the small cap high growth stocks peaked really somewhere in like February of 2021. And it has been, so we are now 2 full years into a vicious bear market for the small cap high growth risk on stocks. So, you know, a lot of people have a similar story. This has not been the easiest run for retail investors. And the big money has, they made it a point. I believe it started with GameStop and AMC. I think big money just made it a point to say, you know what, you want to mess with us? We're going to take out every single one of your stocks. Because the thing is, these small cap high growth stocks are just that. They're small cap. So they are extremely easily, I'm going to use the word manipulation, but not in a negative way. It's easy to impact their price with small amounts of money. So I think that's one of the reasons that things got hit so hard, not just strictly that everything just went risk off. I've never seen everything go this risk off where it's just, the well was completely dry. We're seeing a little bit of a turnaround right now, so we'll see. Awakened Soul said, who wants a Fisker Ocean when you can buy a Tesla for the same price? So I guess we're going to find out the answer to that question. That's what Fisker's going to be all about. Can they be price competitive? And, are people going to want their product? So I don't know what the answer to that is yet. Let's see. Alex said he designed, I think, also Aston Martin BMW. So it sounds like the person at the helm at Fisker has a massive amount of experience to draw on. So we'll see, how that plays out in reality. I'm putting another link. Anybody who wants to be a member, I put another link in the chat. So I appreciate anybody that supports the channel. A lot of good content. We have a great time in the membership. We're growing the perks that we do. And I think that if you ask the members, they'll say they're getting, it's $5. They'll say they're getting their money's worth, in my opinion. But check it out. If you don't like it, you can cancel it. So that link is in the chat. Okay, Gareth, who is a member, says, first I want to say, Carmack the Artist says, hello, Tom. And that is a member. Carmack, thank you. Welcome for being on the stream. Nathan Abbott, who's also a member, said, Go EV, which I think is Go EV, not to be confused with EV Go. Okay, so Gareth says, sorry, I've been distant, Tom. I had to cash out to pay some debts 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, right in the middle of the rally. I caught the startup of it, though. Well, the only thing I can say, Gareth, is I understand, and don't feel like this is the one thing that we got to remember. If you miss one, and a lot of people missed this rally, this is one rally. We're still at the very beginning. I don't even know if we're in a recovery yet. It is yet to be seen if we have truly bottomed. I've been saying that I think Bitcoin has bottomed, the Bitcoin miners have bottomed, but we will see how the market goes and the economy goes. So, we don't know. My point is, don't chase the rally you missed. Just be patient. And, I'm sorry if that you missed it. That sounds like it was bad timing, but there's the next one's always right around the corner is my feeling. So I don't like to chase at the end of a rally. And there's a massive temptation to do that. That's when FOMO starts hitting in, and those are the people that buy last, they're the ones who get burned. So I am a little bit worried. I sold some more of my options. I don't sell my stock. So I'm holding my stock, but I try to keep options positions so that if there's rallies like this, I can capitalize on those rallies. So I do, each day in a rally like this, I sell off more and more of my options and reduce the total amount of dollars I have invested in options. So that helps. That has helped offset a lot of my paper losses on, I have huge paper losses on Bitfarms, on Riot, a couple other ones. Let's see. Barry said, don't become a member till he posts the XRP video. I will post the XRP video. I promise. Alex said, MP Minerals is on a tear since your video. So MP Minerals was one of our members only deep dives, and I think Alex might have recommended that. That has been on a tear. I did also check on App Harvest, which was one of our very first members only videos. They went on a 450% run up in the last month. So they're on a tear as well. So this is what I'm saying. We have very, very knowledgeable members. So when they give recommendations, you know, they're not just throwing stuff at the wall. They've done the research, and there's a lot of good companies, and I'm just one person. So, you know, I know the things I know. I'm in the industries that I'm in, but I'm getting exposure to a lot of other industries and a lot of other stocks thanks to the members. So I want to thank every member that's on the stream right now. I appreciate it that these weekly deep dives have been gold, in my opinion. So I appreciate it. Darren is saying Arizona introduced a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. I did see that, so I'm not sure exactly how all of that would work. I don't know if that's more show than it is anything else, but that would be nice. Every piece of adoption helps. So anything like that, and you know what? Even if it's exposure, it's more talk about Bitcoin. It's getting it out into the mainstream, you know, into the public consciousness. So that's what Bitcoin needs, along with about 5 or 6 other things on my checklist for them to really have the bull run that I believe they're going to have. So, I mean, just so everybody knows, if you're new here, I am very bullish long-term on Bitcoin. I'm very bullish long-term on several of the Bitcoin miners, not all of the Bitcoin miners. Like everything, there will be winners and losers. I'm going to go quickly to my chart and just show you guys what my list is doing, and everybody has different lists. And I will tell you, there are Bitcoin miners that are not on the list I'm about to show you that have outperformed some of these. So even though these have been pretty much a home run, there are others that have done even better. So this is my top 4, and then I have honorable mention the next 4. So really, this is my 1 through 8, but I will tell you, most of my, you know, these investments are much bigger than anything I have down in these. These are my super high conviction plays. So you'll see CleanSpark has lagged. They're up 43%. This is just in January, everybody. This is not, you know, year over year. This is just, it's now January 27th. So this is the last 27 days. Riot's up 87%. So I know a lot of people feel like, oh man, why is Riot lagging so far behind? Well, they're up 87% in 27 days, which is more like, you know, 15 trading days or 18 trading days, whatever the case may be. CleanSpark is lagging, but even they're up 43%. So I have been, you know, I use this little chart here. I'm still dollar cost averaging into CleanSpark. I'm really not, you know, on an 87% run up, I'm not dollar cost averaging into Riot. Hut's up 129% so far year to date. Again, this is 27 days into the year. Bitfarms is up 150%. And I know particularly I hear a lot of people, and I'm one of them, Bitfarms has been sideways for about a week, and that's frustrating. But, you know, in the last 3.5 weeks, they're up 150%. So there's another instance of a company that was, you know, they were at 44 cents, and getting back over $1 seemed like, you know, a dream, but they're already there, and that's how fast these things can happen. Then, you know, my second 5, Marathon's up 135%, Cypher's up 163%, so we talked about how they had gone on a run, and Hive's up 137%. So, you know, I'm counting Iris Energy as a lagger, and that's up 66% in less than 1 month. I mean, the Bitcoin miners, this January was very, very good. I know most of you probably know that, because if you're on this stream, you're probably trading in the Bitcoin miners. So Seth is saying, yes, XRP video. I will make it my business to have an XRP video out this weekend. That's what I'm going to say. Let's see. Brent said that, Darren, the Arizona news has been out there for some time, but I seem to recall there being major legal impediments that would make Bitcoin as tender in one state very unlikely. So I don't know. And I mean, that's the first thing that jumps into my head is, what are the logistics of that? How do they accomplish that? What does it look like? But I do think even if it's just a signal that Arizona is saying, listen, we're pro Bitcoin. We want to adopt Bitcoin, even if ultimately, you know, they can't necessarily adopt it as legal tender, you know, until there's a bigger picture. So I don't know the answer to that, but it's a valid point. But still, anything that raises awareness is good stuff. Carmack the artist, I don't think Core's Q situation has changed enough in my opinion. Tom, is there going to be a Core's Q video? I don't want, so thank you for that question. And I will tell you, I did a bunch of Core's videos. I have not done it since they've went over the counter and they're in chapter 11. And to me, it's because chapter 11 is like a black box of mystery. I know that Core Scientific has been running up recently. It's had a really nice run up, but until they decide, here's the thing. When they went into you walk into chapter 11 looking, bad. So they walked into chapter 11 looking really bad. Their balance sheet was, in my opinion, an absolute disaster. So they have, and they also have, 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 different lenders that they've borrowed money from. They had over $1 billion in debt. They had a bunch of other unsecured creditors past that. So all those people are ahead in line of the retail investor. They're last in line. So oftentimes, a company can come out of chapter 11 a healthy company, but that's of no use to their stockholders. So it's hard for me to put a price on that or to get a read on that situation until we understand when they say, hey, you know what? We've come to an agreement with our debtors. We're restructuring the debt. This much of it's going to become equity. And they've already indicated they went in with a plan of sorts. What's going to happen is what I believe is going to happen, what they say is going to happen is the vast majority of their debt is going to turn into equity, and the vast majority of the equity in the company is going to be held by the current debt holders. So that automatically right there, that one thing doesn't leave a lot left over. They have indicated, they've said there will be money left over for the shareholders. There's going to be value left for the shareholders, but until they, put pen to paper and get the whole deal done, I don't know how to put a valuation on that. So I'm hesitant to do a Core's Q video, and I don't invest in it for that reason, even though I did just miss a gigantic run-up. So I understand, as a trader, here, let me go there. As a trader, these can be, see, when you look at it pulled out, look how far this has gone down. And they really never even got the big run, but, they're still down 98%. But let's get to reality here. So if I go, this is another one where if you go from December 30th until the close today, that's a 490% return on your investment. If you bought at the absolute bottom 1 month ago and you sold at the close today, that's a 490% move to the upside. So some of these stocks are absolutely fantastic trading stocks, swing trading, day trading. But for the most part, I try to stick with my high conviction plays that I know if all else fails, I'll hold on to them for 5 or 10 years because I believe they'll work out in the end. Barry's asking Matic video after XRP, so I don't want to absolutely commit to that, but I will tell you that is the one I know the most about. So and I do like that one. So that that can definitely be in line. But before I make another promise, I want to get my XRP video out. Yoki Beach. Pardon me if I pronounced that wrong. Longtime channel subscriber, but first chat post. Well, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for posting. Michael Anthony, did you do a video on MP? Yes. So there's a deep dive video on MP in the members section. So I think there's 15 or 20 deep dive videos right now. And once a week, I do a video that's requested by the members. So that's really the best ones. I also do some others that, are my own videos that I don't think have enough popularity to put out to the world. but I do think they're interesting, so I give them to the members. I don't like to put out a video that's going to get 400 views. It just hurts. It hurts the channel in the algorithm. It hurts all the other videos. So, you know, I give those to members for that reason, not because I'm hoarding them. I have to work within how YouTube works, and that's just how they work. So that's why I do that. But MP, I believe Alex, one of our members, picked MP, and we did do a deep dive on that, and it is running right now. Let's take a look. So, you know, this looks like another pretty healthy run. So from December 28th until the close today, that's a 35% run up. So, you know, I think we happened to do a video somewhere pretty near the lows on this, and that was not a coincidence. Alex was recommending this because I believe he swing trades this, and it was down at a point where he felt there was a good swing trade value, if nothing else. So Alex may have already been in and out of this one from a swing trade standpoint. I'm not sure. And you can see this is, you know, this gets its ups and downs. But as I did the deep dive, you can take a look and see, you know, if you're interested, if it's a long-term hold as well. So, you know, it depends on, everybody has different trading methods. I don't day trade at all. I do some swing trading. I do mostly buy and hold, and I do buy and sell options depending on, you know, the premiums that are out there to try and make some money along the way, especially in a bear market. Nathan Abbott said Fidelity will let you buy Coors Q, got 900 at 9 cents. So, yeah, that's already cranked from there, right? At one point, this was up. I don't know where it closed. I think it pulled back a little. Where'd you go? Yeah, this is at 24 cents. So 9 cents was not too many days ago. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago, this was at 11 cents. 5 days ago, this was at, you know, under 9 cents. So, you know, that's just in the last 5 days. So in 5 days, you want to talk about a good stock to trade. How about just these 3 days? That's over 100% move in 3 days. So, you know, that's the kind of opportunities that exist in small cap, high growth stocks. And obviously, all of the Bitcoin miners, even the two largest ones, Marathon and Riot, are still small cap stocks. They're both just have worked their way back up to around $1 billion market cap. Alex is saying, Michael, it's on the members only site. So, yeah, I mean, and this, hopefully everybody in the members, I think, has now figured out how to take a look at this. You got to go to the members only section to see the members videos. So, if you haven't done that, please, if you're a member, please go check those out because there's a lot of videos sitting there waiting. Let's see. Alex is saying swing trade 3x, 24 to 27, 26, 29, and holding after buying 28.72 to 32. So I know Alex has shared some of his swing trades, so he's a very effective swing trader. Pete says, top content tonight. Thank you, and thumbs up. Thanks, I appreciate it. Life says, to be clear, there's a lot of false info on the net right now around Coors trying to misrepresent 500 million of convertible notes as being a recent thing. It happened over the past 2 years. So you're right, Life, and we did go through this. Actually, I think we spent both on the members only stream and then the next day, I think we revisited this, but that Bloomberg put out an article and then Seeking Alpha ran with it, and they made it sound like they just raised $500 million. But as I read it, and, you know, we read it there together on the stream, it did not read that way to me. I thought this was just a recap of the money that they had raised over time, and I think that that is what it turned out to be. So I believe you're correct. Awakened Soul is asking, how many shares of each of the top 4 do you have? So I don't disclose my number of shares. Those, I will say this, those are 4 of my top 8 stocks in my entire portfolio. So my portfolio is unreasonably heavy in Bitcoin miners. But that's the level of conviction that I have. So I will say I don't recommend that. I would not tell anybody else to do that. I'm doing that. I know the risk involved, and I'm willing to take that risk. And I got beat up doing it in the year 2022. But I do think in the long run, I was able to dollar cost average in, and I think that it will pay off over time. But I have a disproportionate of Bitcoin miners. And that's the other thing that I like getting these recommendations from. I am finding other stocks in industries that I just don't have the time to research myself. So, when I get to do a deep dive on something new and, it's got a lot of potential, I would like to diversify a little bit more, especially if these Bitcoin miners go up. At some point, I can't live in a world where it's 80% of my portfolio. So, hopefully I think I found a lot of new stock. I know I have a lot of new stocks on my watch list. I have a very long watch list, and some of them have already run. So, if I missed it, I missed it. You can't be in everything. Alex said, thanks to my training with Jared Wesley and Amal Singh. All right, so that's a shout out from Alex. Maybe you did some swing trade training with them. And I know Alex has given a lot of, he's been on the ball with a lot of these swing trades. So Darren said, Tom, if I were to recommend a REIT on members only NLY or ARP, is that something you are interested in? So I would have to take a look. Let's take a look at that on our next members only live stream. I'll check those out and see. And I want to see what they're doing. For me now is a weird time to get involved in REITs, but maybe there's something there that I'm not seeing. So I would be glad to look into it. Brent says, Tom, Lotus Resources, Uranium Plus, others I could mention. So Lotus is one. Yeah, I will do more uranium videos. I think there's big potential there. So, it's just nuclear is a part of the solution going forward, as far as energy goes. So I do think there's a lot of potential there. I'm getting a question. Do you think Bitcoin will drop back down to the $18,000 level? So, for me personally, I don't think it's going to do that, but it's certainly, let's just say, that would by no means surprise me. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we've already been there, done that, but that's not even revisiting its lows. It got down to 15.5. The flash crash over the summer was at 17.5. So if it does do that, I think it would be a brief visit, but all of those things are very possible. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are subject to these flash crashes that go way beyond what most of us that trade in stocks are used to. So almost nothing's out of reach for a brief moment, but I don't believe we're headed back there to stay. Not in my opinion. Natural gas futures down significantly. Great time to jump into BOIL, BOIL. So I will, when the stream is done, I jot all these down from the chat notes. So I'll take a look at some of these. Yeah, it's a good thing for the world that the natural gas is down a little bit. So we can be thankful for that. So Ray, you're asking that because you missed the boat, but I do think there will be pullback. So I don't know that we're getting to 18,000, but I've always taken a dollar cost average approach. You know, we just had, I'm going to go and take a look at this run up because it has been significant. So if you look at a Bitcoin run up that we're on, from the bottom on November 21st, and that was a double bottom at around 15,500-ish, until the close today. So we're at 49%. At the peak, this rally got up to almost 55%. So, you know, when you get rallies like that, whether it's, even if we've entered into a bull market, you're going to get a pullback. We're very overbought. So I don't know when that is, but that's how I like to do it. And that's why dollar cost averaging has proven so much more successful over time than trying to time the bottom and get all your money in at once. So, I mean, you know, for me, I wouldn't be buying right now. We're you know, in the middle or near the end of what's already a 50% rally, but you can almost rest assured there's going to be a pullback at some point. So is it going to be all the way back to 18,000? I wouldn't wait for that. If you get, you know, any reasonable pullback, I would start to dollar cost average in if it were me. Not financial advice. You know, you guys got, only you know your own risk tolerance. And this has got to be one of the highest risk industries in the entire stock market. So, you know, trading in the Bitcoin miners is even more, they're a leveraged play on Bitcoin. So, you know, the swings are gigantic. So I harp on it, but everybody, please be careful. Awakened Soul said, Tom, take a look at GAN, ridiculously cheap market cap. And Awakened Soul said that they happened to buy Boyle yesterday. So it was Shoreline Beach that recommended that, and Awakened Soul actually bought that yesterday. So we'll just take a quick look. I'm going to look at both of those just quickly because we've had a couple mentions of it. Yeah, so I mean, Boyle looks like it's at or near its lows. And GAN, is that what this is? GAN looks like, all right, so we've had a little bit of almost maybe a double bottom here and a nice little run up. Oh, so just excuse me for one moment, please. All right. Apologize for the interruption. That was my technical support, who's also my son. All right. So let's see what GAN does. First of all, let's see what this run-up was, and then let's see what they do. Yeah, so that's almost a double in, again, that 1 month. This has been a great month for small cap, high growth stuff if you pick the right ones. I'm going to just see what they do, because I don't know that company. So $99 million market cap. And gambling. GAN Limited operates as a business-to-business B2B supplier of enterprise software as a service solutions to online casino, gaming, and sports betting applications. So this is one that, you know, would be perfect to throw in the ring on a member stream and see if you know, doing a deep dive on. I don't know this stock. I'm just looking at it. So, and I always look at, when I get recommendations like this, I do like to look at them, at least take a glance at them and see if they're worth putting on my watch list. But this one looks interesting, and I own no stocks in this space at all. The closest thing, I used to own Fubo. I sold it a long time ago. I do not feel great about Fubo. I love their product, but I'm not sure how their stock is going to work out. So I have no other gambling plays at all. Really, even, well, I got DraftKings on one of my watch lists. That's it. Ray said, Tom, thank you for your answer. How can I join your paid membership? I will put a link in the chat. There should be a couple of links in the chat, but I'll put one in there right now. So if you just press this link, it should get you to the join page, and I'm partnered up with YouTube. This is a service that they now offer, and I felt better about that than going to some third party. So that way, you don't have to go join a whole new thing. This is with YouTube. So it should be on the YouTube page. If you're using an Apple product, they don't show the join button, but I put a link in the description, and now I've put a link in the actual chat itself. So if you press that link, you should be able to get to it. So thanks for asking. I appreciate that. Amit says, I like this guy. He's honest about risky investments. He takes risk but isn't shilling. I'm going to start watching him more often. Thank you, Amit. I appreciate that. That is exactly what I try to do. I mean, I know I'm in high-risk stuff. I like the small-cap, high-growth stuff. The Bitcoin miners are all, have been decimated. But I know I'm not the only person that enjoys trading in these stocks. So, I try to keep to real information. And I do my best. So, and I have a lot, we're still a fairly small channel overall, but I really appreciate, I have a lot of very dedicated subscribers. I appreciate all the members on top of that are supporting the channel. But this, I have a lot of subscribers that are continuously leaving me thoughtful comments and that kind of stuff. So, I just appreciate that. And as always, I'd like to just say thank you to all the subscribers, all the members in particular. And thank you to George, whoever you are, who gave a super chat today. So that is our all-time record super chat. So much appreciated. Thanks for that. Let's see. Sourmelon Gaming. Tom, what do you think would happen if Hut stock, what would happen to Hut stock if they do add miners before the halving? I know that's their intent to add more, but I just don't think they have the liquidity for it. Ah, Ray. Welcome. Welcome very much. Ray has joined. Ray is a member. Ray has joined the Talking Investing Squad. So welcome aboard. Enjoy the content that's already there, and there's a lot more coming. So I'm definitely going to be focusing on adding value to the members. So I appreciate you joining. Welcome aboard. I do think that Hut is going to buy more miners. I am patiently waiting for that announcement. So, I don't know anything that you don't know, but just based on what they've said. So that was a shout out. I think that sign comes up. That was for Ray, who joined the channel. Thank you again. Based on what Jamie has said on the conference calls, on the quarterly calls, and based on, our talks, Sue has come on the channel several times. She's been very gracious, and, they've both reiterated they're looking for organic or inorganic growth in their Bitcoin mining. So I'm going to take them at their word for that. They obviously went into hibernation for crypto winter, but the thing is, I think they're calling that a win. They were the first ones to call that. They were the first ones to stop buying machines. But I would expect now, it's been a full year, and these machines are now pennies on the dollar. Could they get even cheaper? I'm sure they could, but to me, it's the same concept. If I was them, which I'm not, so my free advice for whatever it's worth, I would take the same approach on the Bitcoin miners. I would start dollar cost averaging in at what's already, an 80 or 85% discount from what people were paying a year or a year and a half ago. And if the price gets even better, then so be it. You buy more. So I do think they have, and then I'm getting Alex saying, how long do you think Hut lawsuit will take to resolve? Is 3 months a reasonable time frame? I did not like the fact that escalated to a lawsuit. Obviously the much better scenario would have been if they could have hashed something out, but that didn't happen. Now that it's a lawsuit, to me, I'm almost pretending, you know, that North Bay doesn't exist, and, you know, maybe it'll come back online when it comes back online. But I do. You're asking, is 3 months a reasonable time frame? So, you know, obviously every single case is different. The energy provider has something at risk here because they're not selling that energy right now. So, you know, both parties have a reason to resolve this, but 3 months would probably be faster than average. So, you know, I'm not counting on it. I think we'll get an update that they went out and bought more miners and have started the next thing before we'll get an update on that. But that's just an absolute guess. You know, maybe they called their bluff. And remember, it is Hut 8 that is suing for breach of the power purchase agreement. So, you know, we'll see. I'm sure, you know, they could still make an offer, even though it's in litigation. So I hope they finish that as soon as possible, but I'm not holding my breath. Alex says, bye, everyone. We'll return in late February. My new find for y'all is FTCH, target $13. Trade smart. Not financial advice. That is from Alex. Thanks, Alex. Have a great weekend. And Darren is saying GMBLP is similar to GAN, however, a handsome dividend. So there's another one worth putting on the list. Ray said, thank you for your work, Tom. Thank you, Ray, and thanks for joining and becoming a member. And Barry saying, welcome to Ray, one of us. It's a great group, so I think you're going to be happy. When we get Tuesday, we have our members-only live stream, so we can definitely talk more then. And we should have some members-only videos out between now and then as well. Sour Melon Gaming said, also, on the topic of cores, if it goes back to my average of 48 cents on this run, I'm selling my whole position and running. So I can't argue with that line of reasoning. It's because it's such a question mark. You know, if you get back to break even and you get all your money back, it's hard to argue with that line of reasoning, you know, and everybody has a different risk tolerance. Some people might think, I know there's people that think that cores is going to the moon. I just don't know what their line of reasoning is for that. So, I'd probably do what you're doing, Sour Melon Gaming, but that's just my thought. The Wheel Deals Trading Journal. I'm heavily invested in Riot and Marathon. Thanks for all the updates. You are welcome. My pleasure. Glad to do it. I know a lot of people are invested in Riot and Marathon. I have always picked one or the other, but I do have, you know, several miners I'm invested in. I've tried to make one of those a major and one of those a minor investment. And because Riot had fallen so far behind, I am kicking myself. I've said this 2 or 3 weeks in a row. I do wish I had jumped back into Marathon 3 weeks ago. It seems like it was such an obvious trade because Riot had pulled so far ahead of them. And for those of you who have followed along for a long time with Riot and Marathon, this is what they tend to do. One runs ahead, the other one catches up, and then vice versa. So I believe I missed what was a very obvious trade, but, you know, you can't get them all. Gary is saying, I switched out of Hut and used the proceeds to go deeper into CleanSpark today. CleanSpark's consistently moving forward. So I can't argue with that line of reasoning either. And you'll see on my top 4, both of those companies are in my top 4. I do have CleanSpark at 2 and Hut at 3. So, and right now I'm not willing to change any of these. But the other thing is you'll see CleanSpark has lagged behind. So, you know, theoretically, there's more potential upside there. I think these things make their runs whenever they make their runs. I think CleanSpark's a good company. I think, you know, it's due to get the same price action, if not better, than the other Bitcoin miners. So I feel like, you know, that's why I've dollar cost averaged into that. So I understand a move out of Hut into CleanSpark. I didn't get out of my Hut. I kept that as well, but I get it. Darren said, got to get. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Darren. You as well. Enjoy your weekend. Just a quick check-in on Bitcoin, and you'll see, this is the funny thing. This is where Bitcoin was at the close of the equity markets in the U.S. yesterday on Thursday. And then this right here was the close today on Friday. So we closed at 23,112 today. That is $1. That is $1 different than yesterday. So that's how tight of a range this is in. And now you can see we're reverting back up to this line, it would appear. So we'll have to see what happens over the weekend. I did put out, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I did put a video out. I did do a deep dive on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners and what I'm hoping to happen this weekend. So we've talked about a bunch of that on the stream, but there is a video that I put out probably just 10 or 15 minutes before the live stream. So a lot of you may not have seen that. So I guess you got all weekend to watch that, since the Bitcoin miners aren't trading anytime until Monday morning. Ray is asking, Tom, do you think betting on Bitcoin miners is less risky than betting on altcoins? Both are high risk reward speculation. So for my opinion is that's a very strong yes. Now, there's different types of altcoins, right? There's 10 or 15 coins that have some adoption and some value that are much lower risk. I mean, there's 15 or 20,000 coins and tokens out there, the vast majority of which would fall high risk would be an understatement. So because it's a leveraged play on Bitcoin, I believe that it is less risky than the vast majority of the altcoins. There are a few altcoins. Obviously, even Ethereum technically is an altcoin. So, is that a similar risk? You would think so. Ethereum has some massive adoption. It's the second biggest, coin out there. But I am much more comfortable, and I'm researching the altcoins one at a time, and I don't know that I'm ever going to invest in any of them because I'm already so heavy into cryptocurrency with my Bitcoin miners. My portfolio is already out of balance, too heavy in cryptocurrency, so to start adding more cryptocurrency for me doesn't make sense, but for others to spread it around between Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, Bitcoin miners, right? It's always great to spread your risk. And all of those things, like you said, Ray, they're all high risk. That's just the way it is. Sour Melon Gaming said, thanks for your consistency on videos and live streams, Tom. You have truly helped us all a ton. I plan to become a member, and when I start taking profits, I will be donating. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Sour Melon Gaming, and thanks for, I know you've been with us for a long time, so thanks for being on the live streams and watching the videos. And have a great weekend. Gary said earlier this week, when Bitfarm and Cypher were trading within a couple of pennies of each other, sold half of my Bitfarms and put it into Cypher. So far, it has worked out very well. Yeah, that was a well-timed trade then. That definitely worked out in your favor big time. So, and Cypher I like. They're in my second four. And Bitfarms is in my top four, but that's a great trade. So that has worked out well. And, I don't see any reason why either one of them would pull back. Obviously, unless, of course, Bitcoin has a big pullback. Then, as you guys know, the Bitcoin miners get beat up just as bad or worse than Bitcoin when that happens. Barry is asking, out of all the miners, what's the most important info you are looking for in next miner update? Hive's hodl, Mara's mined numbers, electricity rebates. So I'm going to have to think about that for a minute. There are an awful lot of things that I am looking for. I do. What jumps out at me is I want to hear directly from Marathon how many Bitcoin they sold, and what is their, not even how many they mined. Yes, I very much want to know how many Marathon mined, and I look at their pool and you can get some sense. I'm told some of them, they're mining outside of their pool. That may be the case. It doesn't make any sense why they would do that, but maybe they are. But I'm more interested in how many did they sell, and what, that's whether, that is a shift in policy for them. They've gone 2 straight years really without selling any Bitcoin. So if they sold a bunch in January, I want to know, what's the new plan? It's going to be a hybrid of hodl and selling. You know, somebody mentioned earlier, have they become a fiat miner and they're now just going to sell all their Bitcoin? I highly doubt that, but I definitely, that is a piece of information I want to know very much. Hive did give their hodl in, they skipped an update and they did not tell us what their hodl was. And then they gave us a hodl as of like January 6th. So that kind of caught us up. I wish they would have done it December 31st so we could compare apples to apples. But I am interested, you know, I'm interested in the top. I want to see how many Bitcoin Riot mined. I want to see how many, right? Everybody, the excuses are running out. So, you know, January should be a good month. I know some of the Bitcoin miners I know are going to be in the 600s or higher as far as Bitcoin mined per month. Obviously, Core Scientific is able to leave all their machines on, so they scaled up to a point that's well beyond anybody, so they'll be at 14 or 1,500, and they report theirs every day on Twitter, so you know, if you really wanted to, you could just add it all up. But I do want to see, where did CleanSpark, where did Riot, where did Marathon, and where did Bitfarms? Those four are kind of competing throughout the year. They shouldn't be because they're at different levels of exahash. So I would look to see, is Riot starting to pull away from the pack? Did Marathon, they had 2.7 exahash that was ready to go but not energized. Were they able to plug that in, and are they mining that now? So there's a lot that I'm looking for. I'm looking very much forward to the next round of operational updates. Shoreline Beach said, any opinions on any? Seems like a good value at these prices. I do have an opinion on any. I like any. I like the new any. They have new management. They have a new CEO. They are clearly a very different company than, unfortunately, they were a punchline by, you know, at some point with their, you know, press release that they were going to get to 32.4 exahash with these new miners, none of which happened, and I think everybody knew that at the time. But all of that's gone. All of that's behind them. Their balance sheet looks very good, and I like their plan. Now, they're a much smaller scale company, right? They were talking about being, this is a company that was talking about being by far the biggest Bitcoin miner in the world, and, you know, now they're not going to compete to be a top 10 in size, but that doesn't mean they can't be profitable and successful. So I do like any. That's my quick opinion. Gary said I have a small position in AVAX. Oh, this reminds me, there was one other thing I did want to talk about. Speaking of any, guess who popped back onto the radar today? Bitcoin miner Griffin to go public via an all-stock merger with cannabis firm Akerna, I guess you would pronounce that. So you'll see they mentioned in the notes they were trying to do this last year with Sphere 3D. Sphere 3D is stock ticker any. So Griffin was going to merge with any. That was a part of the whole process. I think they did not like what they saw, particularly with, you know, some of the press releases that were coming out. That situation didn't work out. Also, you know, these reverse mergers and SPACs and all that stuff started to lose momentum and, you know, lose their value. So that situation fell apart. But here we are a year later, and Griffin is back on the radar. So I just want to show you, I have that pulled up. This is what happened to Akerna today. So on the news that they are going to merge with Griffin, this will change. The name of the company is going to change to Griffin. So this is stock ticker KERN right now. The current shareholders, I think, are only going to make up 7.5% of the new company. So the vast majority of the new company is going to be Griffin and, you know, the Griffin ownership. So most of the shares are going to go to them. You can see this is a $5 million market cap company, so that kind of makes sense that they would get a very small portion of the new company. I don't like when companies do this merging to go public or a SPAC to go public. A lot of these, the vast majority of the SPACs did not pan out. Some of them did. Some of them were home runs, but the vast majority didn't pan out. And I also think it circumvents the process. There's I think a company should go do an IPO if they want to go public. There's a reason that's the process. So for me, I stay away from this. I don't know, Griffin, they're back, they're back. It sounds like now they're finally going to be a public company. If this goes through, it's always one thing to say you're going to merge, but getting it done is always another thing. So we'll see what happens. Nathan is saying, I dumped 4,000 Matic before Christmas and put it all into Hut 8 and Bitfarms. So I don't know what you sold them at, but that could have been a good trade. Matic's on the rebound. I like Matic, but as you guys can see from my list, I also like Hut 8 and Bitfarms. Those are two of my higher conviction stocks. Brent said, I'm intrigued where Kern is trading at the close. Yeah, I mean, they got whacked today. So that was a big move to the downside. So I'm not sure. I need to know more about this, but definitely, down 31% on this news. Maybe an opportunity is presenting itself here. This is a tiny, I mean, you can see the market cap. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny company. So, Griffin, I think, is at 1 exahash. So even at 1 exahash, that makes them a much bigger company than Akerna. And they're going to get, 92.5% of the stock is how I think that's going to go. So we're almost all the way back up to where we were at the close and at the beginning of the live stream. We got 99 likes on this live stream. Anybody wants to smash the like button, we'll have 100 likes and I'll feel like we won. Michael Anthony is saying people did not like that news today. I think referring to stock ticker KERN that's merging with Griffin. So I would agree. People did not like that. The stock got beat up. The current shareholder... Oh, so Brett's saying the current shareholders bought pot and not Bitcoin. Makes sense to me. The price action on the stock. So, yeah, I mean, these are two unrelated businesses. They're two theoretically high growth to ultra high growth. That's the expectation. But one of these businesses has absolutely nothing to do with the other one. And that's what I don't like. This is a merger of two companies that are totally unrelated. And one of them is going to be the dominant company, 90+% of what happens. It's going to change its name. The CEO of Griffin's going to be the CEO of the new company. It's almost like Kern ceased to exist with this news today. That's now really an investment in Bitcoin. So I understand that maybe a lot of people, that's not what they wanted to invest in. So they left. Now, whether that leaves them at a value or not, I'm not sure. So thank you, whoever smashed the like button. We're now at 100 likes, so I appreciate that. That helps. So I am going to wrap it up. I think we've gone a couple hours here. So thanks again. I want to thank everybody on the stream. Thanks so much. Thanks for all the likes. All the comments. Thank you to our new member. And thanks again to our super chat on the day. So much appreciated to everybody. Have a great weekend. I am hoping, obviously we're all hoping, this green line right here, I'll leave you with this thought, 23,257. So give or take, I'm calling it 23,300. I feel like if we can find a way to get over that, close a 4-hour candle over that, I think maybe we can keep this run going a little bit while longer. So that's my summary. Thanks again to everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I will be putting several videos out this weekend as well. So hope to see you there. And everybody have a good night.